one of the many ways I procrastinate and find ways to not work is the Rubik's Cube. Welcome back, everyone. So today we were going to talk about this image that I've used in the thumbnail, and I was going to call it the hardest selfie I've ever done. But there's so much to cover. There's so much to cover in the video. So I was just going to have a little chat about what's going on, and then we'll go to past me, who's in the woods, and then just sort of go through how I've done that. So firstly, composition. I set the camera up low on the ground. I had it, so I was using the 24 to 70 mil, 24 mil, about a foot off the ground. And I just positioned, so I had this like gnarly old tree, just as a bit of background, put a mark on the floor. So I roughly knew where I wanted myself in the frame. I had to mark the floor because obviously when I'm in front of the camera, I didn't really know where I was. My camera settings ended up being 1/400th of a second, f4.5 and ISO 250. Both the speed lights were on max power. So I had to really, it was hard. They haven't really got enough power to overpower the sun because I was out in the middle of the day. So I just had to really balance those settings. So the shutter speed, I wanted it to be really fast because obviously I'm going to be moving on the bike. In order to get a sharp image, I had to make sure the shutter was fast enough that there was no motion blur. The aperture, so that kind of makes it is going to make it dark, but also the aperture is f4.5 because I couldn't have the aperture wide open because then that would give me a shallow depth of field, and I didn't know where I was going to be in the frame, roughly. I sort of roughly knew, but I didn't know exactly. So again, in order to have a sharp image, I had to have a deeper depth of field, which again makes the shot darker. So then we boosted the ISO up to 250 just to bring us back to a decent exposure. I did consider calling this video Mastering Off-Camera Flash, but I think the hardest selfie I've ever taken was just more appropriate. Anyway, let's go to the woods and we'll see how I set it all up. I'm driving off sort of towards the woods, but I haven't completely decided where I'm actually going to go yet. I need a trail, I need somewhere nice, so we've got some nice woods and trees in the background. It's quite windy today, surprise, surprise for my videos. It's quite windy today, so I need somewhere to be sheltered. I also kind of want somewhere where there's not going to be loads of dog walkers because firstly, I don't want them in the shot, but also I don't want them to keep stopping and asking me what the hell I'm doing, which does tend to happen quite a lot. Don't know. Just going to keep driving. Just going to keep driving until I see a good spot, I think. It's a good plan. Oh, hello. Hiya. You got a leaf on your chin. Come here. Yeah, there you go. It's all right. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're having a good walk. Yeah. Fairly deep in the forest now. Absolutely knackered already. Haven't even started what I came here to do. I just wanted to show you this. And this really cool, gnarly old tree. Look at that. Let me switch focus for you there. Look at this. Now, this isn't a tree photographing expedition. This is a hardest selfie I've ever done expedition. So let's get back on the bike and do some more of that. I've decided I'm actually going to use that gnarly old tree for my background. So I've just grabbed my bike, now wheeling back in. It's not going to be easy because there's no actual trail here for me to ride on. So we just have to make do on this lovely soft loamy earth. So I'm going to set up, I'm going to get all of this kit off my back. My back is like soaked with sweat. So I'm going to get all my kit off and I'll set up. Try and clear some of this earth out of the way. Set some speed lights up, see what we can do. It's good, it's going to be good. I've set up a rough composition with my camera pointing up at this big old tree. At the moment, I'm not sure. I think there might be too much sort of bright sky in the background showing through, which isn't really what I want. I've got just over here, I've got a speed light with a blue gel on. So that's just gonna shine a bit of blue onto the big old tree. It's another dog walker. It's going to shine some blue onto that big old tree. I've put a line along the ground here, so I know roughly where I need my back wheel to be in order to be in the center of frame. And I've got a softbox here with another speed light. So this is going to be my main light. So the idea is I'm just going to trundle down this bit of path here. Haven't quite worked out how I'm going to set the shutter off yet. I have got a remote, but it's really hard to hold in one hand and do a wheelie. So we can try that. The other option is a timer, but then it's going to be quite hard to have this sort of split second timing that I need. So we've got one light, tree, second light, a bike, a camera, and an old man with a can-do attitude. It's not as easy as it looks, but I've had an idea. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the remote. I'm going to hold it in my mouth, set it off, try and hit the remote with my mouth, and then I'm going to try and Photoshop it out later. Why am I doing this? What do you reckon? Well, it's not bad. Let's try again. Flash did go off. Come on. Ah, come on. Nearly. Was that it? Did we get one? Kinda, yeah. Nope. I'm looking at the camera. No, front wheel's too low. Just gonna adjust this light a little bit. Gonna bring it down. Tilt it up a bit more. Just because the peak of my hat's kind of blocking my face, which I know you're probably saying, well, that's great, but come on, be nice. Tell me that was good. Well, I'll show you that, just so you can see what I go through. It's just for you. Okay, we're gonna have that. I'm gonna call it a day there. I'm pretty sure we got some good images. I've worked out why there's so many dog walkers. I mean, you haven't seen half the dog walkers that have been coming past here. So what I actually done was I parked up in quite a remote spot, a road to nowhere, not a lot of people around. And then I rode my bike into the woods, further and further into the woods, until I came sort of 200 yards that way is a busier road and a really popular place for people to park and walk their dogs. So live and learn. Yeah, I'm hoping we've got a good, like a half decent image at least. I'm definitely gonna come back and get some more photographs of this tree. It is gnarly. I think there's so much we can do with it. I think in the mist, like on a misty winter's day, it's gonna look really cool. We're definitely gonna come back and see that tree again. Anyway, I'm gonna pack all my stuff up, get on my bike, just go for a little ride back to the studio. I was gonna have a chat with you on the way back to the van, just to bike through the woods, but who am I kidding? It's miles and I'm knackered. Come on. So there you have it. A multiple off-camera flash selfie with all the kit carried in a backpack, remotely triggered whilst doing a one-handed wheelie. Don't ask why. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for sticking to the end. We'll see you next week.